Who would have expected after 4 seasons that we can call ourselves a Sky Bet League 2 side? We're here to make a name for ourselves. But of course, before we kickstart the campaign, there's some new faces to see, and I feel like we've got some really good squad depth this year, and I feel like it's going to be a season that we can push ourselves maybe even higher than the expectations that we thought at the tail end of last season. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go through the new squad, and we're going to have a look through the new players. I'll go through position, we'll then look at obviously the bench, and we'll look at anyone else who's new as well. So we've got obviously Wright still in goal. We didn't find any other goalkeepers. I feel like it's worth giving him a chance, especially with his 17 determination as well. He's worthy of giving an opportunity to. A little bit like Camus in obviously that first season, but he just wasn't going to be good enough to make the step up, where I think Wright playing at this higher level could encourage his development a lot more. Don't forget, he's a good enterprise national player right now. A little bit worrying, but he has got the potential to be a Sky Bet League 1 player, and a good one at that. So maybe it's going to be a little bit of an ask for him to perform in this league. We'll have to keep a close eye on that and see how that unfolds. Maybe we look at loaning in a goalkeeper for the time being, potentially. Going to start with Briggs at right back. I know he's a more natural centre back, but of course, with the centre backs that we've got, he's not going to start. Again, with his jumping reach, his marking, his tackling, I feel like he's going to be quite a solid right back for us. You know, we've got to expect that we're probably going to be under the cosh quite a lot in this season. So he's going to be there, hopefully, that defensive rock and solid at the back. He's a decent Sky Bet League 2 player right now, with his potential still being decent Sky Bet League 1 player. So we've got some good players, you know, good potential within these players. And let's hope, now that we're full-time as well training, that they can reach that potential a lot quicker. Centre backs still pick themselves, so we've got Johnson and Skara. Killer Ferrari obviously picks himself. I do like that they've made the regens have portraits that generally update, because I'm pretty sure Killer Ferrari didn't have sort of like that mini afro going on when we used to look at his profile before this update's gone through, but he's just coming on leaps and bounds. Currently a decent Sky Bet League 1 player, potential to be a good Sky Bet Championship player. We did have a lot of interest coming in for him and for Hayden Murray-Holmes, but at the end of last season I quickly went straight in when we were on a high, offered them a new contract, and for now it's pegged off the interest. I reckon come January, one of them, or if not both, may be going. Murray-Holmes obviously still there. Gromick in his position still there as well. Murray-Holmes is performing at a Sky Bet League 1 ability as well, and has the potential to be a championship player. Gromick leading Sky Bet League 2 and good potential Sky Bet League 1. So we've got some good players. Now for one of the new guys, of course, the winger positions or the attackers out wide were our weaker areas, right, coming into this new season, and they needed to be updated and they need to be changed. So we've got Isaac Holland. He's joined us after being released from Brentford. Didn't really ever play for Brentford. Only has ever made 2 appearances in his whole life. So we could, you know, we don't really know what we're going to get from him. I would say really good stats all round, especially if you're in Sky Bet League 2. He comes in at a good Sky Bet League 2 level with the potential to be a leading Sky Bet League 1 player. So he's going to play naturally more out on the right. McEachran is still here. He's still going to be our cam, but I have got someone who is replacing him, but they've annoyingly picked up an injury in a friendly, and I'll show you them in a moment. We've then got this other new guy, so the other winger that we've brought in, he is more of a natural striker, but I'm going to try and not shoehorn him in, but his stats will allow him to play as I'm thinking more of like an inside forward than a winger, just because of that 6 crossing is where I think we're going to have him inside forward out on the left hand side, but we have got other options if that doesn't really work, and maybe then Hugill needs a rest. We can have him playing up front on his own. Hugill obviously up top, as we know. Kai Crampton, he's still here. Other new person who's joined, Cameron Ismail. He's an Egyptian under 21, or is 21. I've brought him in at left back. Reason why is because I am expecting Killer Ferrari to most probably leave at some point. And this guy's a decent Sky Bet League 2 player. It gives us someone to still be able to work with. So I've got him in. He'll be sort of drip fed in to get used to the way we play. And, you know, hopefully we can keep Killer Ferrari, but I've got a backup there just in case we can't. Clark is still here. We've then got this guy coming in on loan. Keyrol Figueroa, probably pronounced that horribly wrong. He's coming on loan from Oxford United as a striker. They weren't really bothered about how much playing time we gave him. So we brought him in because he can play across either wing and also as a striker. We've then brought in Brian Pendleton. So we've got Pinnington and Pendleton. So it's the battle of the P's, let's say, at right back. Brian Pendleton comes in. He can actually play all the way across the back. So he can play left back, he can play centre back, and he can play right back. So I quite like that. Gives us a little bit more depth and coverage. He comes in at a good enterprise national level, comes in with a potential of a Sky Bet League One, and he only wanted to come in as a fringe player. So, I mean, we can't complain. He's not going to be demanding playing time. Tate Campbell's still here. I mean, we did try to sell him, but no one's interested in him. Leading enterprise north-south, hence why we tried to get rid of him. But he's still here for now. A little bit of depth. Damari Mellor is here as well. A good enterprise national. So we've not really got rid of too many players. We've still kept quite loyal to the players that helped us come up. Now, this is the guy who's most probably going to be replacing McEachran. So we've got Cole Brannigan. He's coming in. He's going to play in that advanced playmaker role. He's 3-star ability, potential 5-star potential. Potential's 5-star potential. You know what I mean? Has 5-star potential. Currently performing at a decent as a Sky Bet League 2 player, a decent one at that, with potential to be a Sky Bet League 1 standard player. So he should be back in 9 days to 3 weeks. So we'll see him play in the next couple of games. We then got Theo Archibald. I thought I'd bring in a little bit of experience. You know, quite a lot of the players that we've brought in are young. He comes in at 30 years old. He's coming in as a fringe player. Again, can play naturally on either wing. So again, I feel like he's got a job to be done. Comes in as a good Sky Bet League 2 player, right? Unlikely to improve in the future, of course, but it just brings in that little bit of maturity into the squad, that little bit of a, we've been here before. You know, he was in with Sky Bet League 1 with Leyton Orient. Didn't play anything in the season before, but, you know, been quite consistent in terms of his appearances and made 228 appearances overall. So I think he's going to be there, hopefully more as like a backup. I don't really want to be relying on him, but also in the same breath, hopefully he can keep the dressing room grounded and obviously be that voice of wisdom as and when we need it, which of course I feel like throughout this season we are going to need. Piddington's still here, and of course we've still got Chris Francis as well. Chris Francis, we brought him in, we gave him another contract just to be on the safe side. I mean, he's very much not going to play for us if we're honest, but he's there for the cup competitions. Remember, we're in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, so I thought, you know, we'll rotate a little bit and have a little bit more options on the bench. Just quite a large squad, in fairness to what we're used to. I don't know why I've gone on my badges, but we are Continental C licence, as you can see there. What I wanted to do is go on to budgets. So we're currently spending 29,966 of a 31,728 budget. So we've still got 1,700 left to play with. So there is still potential to bring in another player should we need to. I feel like the only position that I'm worried about, because if, for example, we just put him there, I know he's injured and he's not going to play today, but as an example, I feel like the one position that we're actually probably weakest in is maybe an out-and-out natural right back. Obviously, we've got Pendleton, who can play centre-back as well, or Pinnington, but we know Briggs can do a good job there, and maybe a goalkeeper, if I'm honest. Obviously, we have got Kai Crampton there. He's leading north-south, so he's really not going to be sort of pushing the door at any point. And James Wright, I mean, we've just looked for it, so I won't go through it again. But I think that may be a position that we need to look out for and consider. I might actually play Mellor this afternoon rather than McEachran and give him a run out at this level. But that just gives you an idea of the new guys that have come in. In terms of outs, Westendorf has left. He's gone to Buxton. He was out of contract, so we just let him leave. And then in terms of this season, Kieran Petrie has also gone out on loan in a deal to go to Billericay, but they're paying all of his wages and paying us a monthly fee, so can't complain. And other than that, Kennedy Junior Baptiste has gone out on loan again. He's not been progressing as quick as Killer Ferrari, unfortunately. But other than that, everyone else is still here and still in the club. So that just gives you an idea, right, of where we're at. But without further ado, let's get into the first league game. We have got a big tie. We're playing Exeter, not a team to be sniffed at in terms of Sky Bet League 2. The first, obviously, early fixture has gone. We are currently sitting 16th. Is that where we're going to end up? Let's have a look. Predicted league table. they predict us to actually finish 17th. So, I mean, I'll take that. I think we've obviously been bringing in some key players that have obviously helped us. They actually think that I should play Francis over Hugill, but I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. So we're going to be playing Hugill first and foremost, and then we'll see how things go. Maybe Hugill and him can play two up top and we'll drop the cam. But let's get straight into the first game of the episode. This is probably going to be the only game that we see because, of course, we have gone through all of the new additions, and then what we'll do is we'll go back to our usual billing, so to speak. So here we go, the first game of our campaign in Sky Bet League 2. It's going to be a long campaign, but I've got all the hope that it can be a very successful campaign and build us nicely for the future. But your first team sheet for the first league game is James Wright in goal, Josh Briggs, Darnell Johnson obviously taking the captain's armband as McEachran drops to the bench. Skara alongside him with Killer Ferreri making up the rest of the defence. Victor Gromek, Hayden Murray-Holmes, Isaac Holland, Damari Mellor and Francis Okaronko in the attacking midfielder roles, with Joe Hugill leading the line. And do we need a big performance from Hugill this season? Not only in this game, but this whole season. Like we do it at the start of every season, but we're just going to say, let's go out there and make full advantage of home form. You know, the MG Group Stadium's always been a fortress for us, and it needs to carry on being a fortress for us today. If we can win or draw the majority of our home games, and then try and obviously pick up as many points on the road as possible, then we should have a successful campaign. And remember, this season's very different from the others. Expectations that we had individually was that we think that we can go up. Expectations this year, I'll be happy with a nice solid mid-table. If we can sneak up into, say, the top half of the table, that will be fantastic. But I think we just want to solidify ourselves in this league this time round, and then we'll build on it from there. You know, we're not going to be sort of going straight up. We're not going to do back-to-backs, or I don't think so anyway. I mean, if we manage to do back-to-backs, then Christ, I don't know if we're ready for Sky Bet League 1, let alone potentially Sky Bet League 2. But hey, they're here, and of course, it's for us to make an upset and make a name for ourselves. But first highlight here for Exeter within inside 10 minutes. Briggs wins the header. That's why he's there with that heading prowess. Holland, Briggs, Hugill's there. Hugill taps it in. First goal. Manages to bend that run in behind. Briggs with the assist as well, which is actually against what we want the fullbacks to be doing, really. We want them to cross from deep, but I mean, I won't complain. Briggs takes it a little bit further to the byline. I'm not sure if it got a cheeky little deflection there, but we'll take it. Hugill putting us 1-0 up, 10 minutes in our Sky Bet League 2 debut. Of course, a lot of football to go, boys and girls, but we are 1-0 up. We've got a highlight here from a free kick. Holland, ball over the top. No one's there, but he picks up the loose ball into Murray-Holmes. What's he going to do with it? Cuts it back. Johnson, Skara. Johnson plays it back to Gromek. I like it. We're not going too dangerous. Killer Ferreri. Ball across. Hugill's there. Just can't put his header on target. But so far, so good. But of course, it is only 20 minutes played. Corner here for us. Holland again with the ball in. Goalkeeper comes for it. Again, we need to work on our corners. We are still not very good. Killer Ferreri picks up the long goal kick from them. Briggs. I mean, we are a bit exposed on the other side because Killer Ferreri's still here. Crosses it for Hugill. Hugill rises like a salmon. Of course he does. And heads it in. 2-0 up against Exeter. We're absolutely blowing them away. We're the new boys on the block and they don't know how to handle us. Killer Ferreri, again, ignoring my instructions to actually cross from deep. So, I mean, I'll take it if it produces results like this. But there we go. Just like Hugill ended the season. Well, I say ended the season. Actually, he didn't end the season in the greatest goal-scoring form, did he? But he had obviously a very good season overall. And he started this season as he means to go on, hopefully. A deep cross from them. Wright deals with it, which is nice to see. Remember, we are keeping eyes on Wright. We don't want to necessarily lose ground just because of the goalkeeper. Here's the new guy here, Francis. cuts the ball in. Holland's there. Oh, deflection. Goes out for a corner. Are we going to see it? We won't. That's absolutely fine by us. But yeah, we're keeping an eye on Wright. Obviously, we need to... I want to give him a chance. Also, I don't want it to be at a detriment, right? So if there's a lot of mistakes that he's making, if the performance and the ratings aren't up to where they were sort of last season, then what we'll do is we'll consider finding a new goalkeeper. We've got wage budget to spend. We've also obviously got loans that we can bring in. We've only got one loan in the squad at the moment. Remember, we can have a maximum of 5. So definitely something that we'll consider going into the latter parts of the season. Murray Holmes there. Good idea from Mellor, just not necessarily the best execution, but we've got a throw in here, deep in stoppage time. Can we make it count? Oh, Francis there with the header, but straight at the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, long goal kick downfield. Ferreri's going to deal with it all day. Plays it to Francis, and that's probably what he's going to be known at moving forward. Tries the ball in for Hugill. Unfortunately, can't read it, get on to the end of it. But that goes the whistle for half-time. So, 2-0 up. It's been all us. We've been all over Exeter, and we'll take it. I mean, I don't think there's much else to say. I'm going to say that was absolute. You're doing brilliantly. Keep going. And I don't think there's any need to change anything. We're going to send the same 11 out. Repeat of that again, please, boys. Get a couple more. If we can get the next goal, it gives us a little bit more comfort. If they score the next one, goes a little bit more squeaky bum time, right? So let's try and get one more goal and just wrap up the game. Gromit with the interception, but then just plays the ball downfield. Luckily for us, their fullback doesn't deal with it well. We get the ball back. Gromit into Murray Holmes. Mellor, just not... Again, Mellor's disappointing because that pass from Murray Holmes was pretty much on point there, but he's just not reacted enough and quickly got it. Hugill into Briggs. Briggs again surging down that wing, and there he is, Francis, with the goal from Briggs. I feel like, you know, Briggs he's stamping his spot at right back. Last season, he never let me down, right? This is 2 assists that he's got now. Not a bad crosser of the ball. Francis reacts well, taps it. There you go. Thank you very much. But 3-0 up in our first game in Sky Bet League 2, boys and girls. I was going to say, here we go. I've said that now, and they're going to go and score. Right, smothers the cross that comes in. We can't complain. It's been a very good performance so far. Let's just keep going. Let's get another one. Let's set a precedent. Let's try and get 5. Murray Holmes into Ferreri. Ball in. Hugill! Is it just wide? I'd love a Hugill hat-trick. First game of the season. That would be fantastic. Briggs with a 9.1 rating at the moment. Not putting a foot wrong. Doing everything right. Maybe not praise him as much because we know what happens. FM listens. Ball comes in. Briggs there with the jump in reach of 17. Holland picks up the loose ball. Mellor. Briggs. Will probably bring McEachran on at 60 minutes. So Mellor, you've got 5 minutes to do something. Lovely ball though. He's got 5 minutes to do something, and he does just that. Francis is in. Remember, he's the player who likes to play as a striker. And look at that. Actually, as that inside forward role, he's almost playing in line with Hugill. Gives Mellor 2 options. Hugill runs a little bit early, but Francis times his run to perfection. Takes the ball. Lovely. Look at that composure. We're on to a winner here, boys and girls. Francis is going to be the next Hugill. And we've already got Hugill, so we're going to have 2. We've moved up to first. Stop the count. We're top of the league. We'll take that after the first game of the season. I mean, I know there's a lot of games to go, and I know we're getting carried away. But 4-0 up, first game of the season against Exeter. It'll be interesting to see what they... 5-0. 5-0. It'll be interesting to see where they think that Exeter were due to finish. I can't actually remember from the prediction table. Obviously, we would have seen it, so we can always flash back to see that after the game. But they must be. Exeter are quite an established team, right? They must have been quite high up. But 5-0, I think that's time to make some changes now. Francis has scored his hat-trick, so we may as well give him a rest. I think that's fair. Ferreri's knackered. Let's give him a rest. Let's give the new guy a go. We'll take him off on a hat-trick. Bring on McEachran as well. Bromwick's knackered, but I don't want to change that. I'm happy with the rest of it for now. Just make the 3 changes. We don't want to change things too much. You know, we're 5-0 up. Ideally, we want to sort of try and keep that as much as we can. Remember, goal difference is going to be a big thing this season. So, you know, if we concede a couple now, it's going to be a little bit disappointing. If we can just shut up shop almost. And actually, speaking of shutting up shop, I'm going to go time waste more often. We may as well. We may as well just time waste. Not actually drop off on the intensity. You know, we're still going to go after them. We're still going to go after the ball. Still going to try and score more. But when we have got the ball, you know, when we're doing throw-ins or corners, we'll just waste a little bit of time. There's no problem in that, in my mind. Anyway, in my opinion, let me know in the comments section. What do you think? I don't think it's a bad move to do that. Especially when we're 5-0 up. XG of 3.7, 10 shots on target, 21 shots in total. Whew. We are absolutely dominating. And it just goes to show that this sort of formation that we've built and the way that we want the team to play works so well. And of course, if you haven't seen that, I do a deep dive on the formation and how we've got this set up and how we've tweaked things in another video that's coming just after this one. So please do feel free to check that out as well. But a 5-0 win. Apart from in the last part of the game where we sort of went to time waste and took our foot off the gas, we absolutely dominated. I mean, that's about as good as win as we're likely to see. They were and he was absolutely fantastic. I just want to say you were excellent tonight. Well done. So were you, to be fair. You did really well today. Congratulations. And Josh Briggs. That's what I'm talking about. Very, very good. Can't complain. Absolutely loved it. Hat-trick from the new boy as well. What a way to announce yourself to the Oxford City fans. Comes in, bangs in a second half hat-trick. Oh, I mean, we are in for an absolute treat if he carries on scoring like that. But there we go. That's everything we're going to see in today's episode. A little bit different from our usual one because, of course, stepping up into League Two, we had a lot more players to introduce ourselves to than just the usual 1 or 2 that we've added in the past. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm glad we got to see a 5-0 thrashing of Exeter in today's episode as well. The usual schedule will now carry on. So, again, I'm going to play a couple of games off camera, bring you back, and then we'll see 2 games like we have done in the past. But I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for watching the journey so far. You know, who would have thought? 4 seasons in, 2 promotions. Who knows? Maybe after that Exeter performance, another promotion's on the cards. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you are new around here to continue watching the journey, and leave a comment down below. Where do you think we're going to finish?